can't even hear myself, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure I'm here, and you're about to hear the sound of my chair squeaking as I move. Oh wow, that was way loud. Way loud. I like having a screen that allows me to see how loud I am, because sometimes, if you're neurodivergent, you can be a little too loud, and it's really not a good thing. That's okay though, because we're making lots of progress these days. Nate Hyatt here, creator of Conscience and Nonsense magazine and Adventures Rewind. Hi, it's Nate, creator of Conscience and Nonsense magazine and the related comic strip Adventures Insane. And boy, have I been busy lately. That's a good thing. Made a meeting with the psychiatrist the other day. First and foremost, haven't done one of these podcasts in a while. Pardon me. I have been sick with the flu, and I don't think it was COVID. I never got tested. I tried not to spread it around. Wow. So I did go to the psychiatrist online, and I wrote a blog post about that, which is available on conscienceandnonsense.com. Go to conscienceandnonsense.com if you don't know how to spell conscience. First of all, learn how to spell. Ha ha ha, just kidding. C-O-N-S-C-I-E-N-C-E, conscience. C-O-N, and then the word science. Get it? Conscience. And nonsense. If you don't know how to spell nonsense, hey, actually you could be learning English. You might not be a native English speaker, and that's okay, because that's one of the things that I do, that I'm getting back into. I'm always getting back into that. I never really want to leave that. That's been an important part of my journey, and I hope you'll forgive me for being all over the place. Oh yeah, people are gonna really come down on you. They're gonna come to your door. They're gonna knock on your office door and say, "Hey, quit being all over the place. Just go away entirely. Go back to delivering pizzas." Oh, Nathan does not need to go back to delivering pizzas. Pizza pies. Oh my goodness, that was such a long time ago, 1994. Pipe down, guys. We're trying to do a podcast. Yeah, guys, I can't even think. Hey, Billy Bob, how you doing? So, the point is that being ADHD, being neurodivergent, you're all over the place, and you get back to what you were thinking about, which was helping people learn English so that they can make sense when they talk, even though I don't make sense when I talk. So how is a person who does not have a good command of their faculties going to help people learn a language? Well, that's one of the things I do. I have a new tab. I have a couple new tabs on conscienceandnonsmag.com. You go to conscienceandnonsense.com. There's a big button. We just fixed it. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much, my IT girl, working her little took us off. She's got a job, and then she tries to help me the best that she can. Conscienceandnonsense.com is up and running. It's no longer under construction. Of course, we're going to go back and improve it even more when we get the opportunity, but for now you can go there. There's this huge rectangular button beneath the MailChimp sign up for the emails, where you just click on this button. It takes you to the magazine. You get to the magazine. There's a huge menu on the magazine, and I don't think that I'm going to be paring that down anytime soon. I think I need all of those buttons. You wind up on the home page, and then up at the menu, you're to the right of that, and there's a number of other buttons, but there is the services button, and that tells you all about what I do as a language coach and mentor. I'm a language coach and mentor. I'm fluent in Spanish. I've been studying Spanish since 1988. That's longer than a number of people have been alive. And that's way longer than Tom Brady was in the National Football League. He just retired. Love you, Tom. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're the local team. Love that team. Thanks for the Super Bowl. Thanks for beating the New Orleans Saints. Tom Brady, can't thank you enough. So I've been studying Spanish for a long time, and I've been using it for a long time. And I actually need to give you a sampling here. Buenos días, buenas tardes, soy Jonathan Hayat, el maestro quien enseña español a todos los demás que ya no sepan hablarlo, pero me sirve para ganarme bien la vida y ayudo a muchas personas y tengo muchas experiencias las cuales me gustan y la vida me trata bien. Y disfruto de todos los días y vivo con mi familia, mi mamá y mi papá, y ellos me ayudan tanto como puedan en cada cosa y comemos varias cosas diariamente, pero I digress. So check that page out, the services page. Talks a little bit about what I do teaching language, helping people. And that was an important thing to me. I kept trying to get away from that. I kept thinking, do I need to do the comic strip in the magazine, or do I just need to... Well, I never really had considered just working with language and just tutoring, or I hate, I've got to learn to stop calling it that. It's not tutoring. We don't call it tutoring. People want to tutor because they want somebody to help them cheat to pass a class. Do my homework for me, tutor. Cheat and take this test in my place, tutor. I actually had one guy wanted me to help him use a bizarre computer setup so I could actually take a test for him. Just this weird, futuristic, cyber-stalky, crazy, wow. So I don't tutor. I'm a language coach and a language mentor, and the best way to learn language is actually far, far outside of a classroom where you've got a teacher going up, muy bien, clase, vamos a escuchar y vamos a repetir. El gato es negro. El gato es negro. There's a time and a place for that, but so much of what goes on in a classroom, I have great respect for teachers. I had some wonderful teachers. My sister was a teacher for a long time, not long enough. She wasn't able to make the difference she really wanted to make. I understand why people get into teaching and education. I'm not helping people out in a classroom environment where there's one professor and 30 students, and I'm the tutor who helps them with their homework and helps them prepare for an exam. No, that's not what I do. I work one-on-one with people who want to become fluent in a foreign language, not just pass a class because they got this deal through their job and they need to save some money and they want a certification and everything's, pardon me. At the end of the day, everything comes down to a certification and a document and a certificate, and if they can prove this and get their little paper signed and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, you get so far away from learning a language so that you can communicate in Spanish or communicate in English without having to look everything up on a computer. Just talk to people in Spanish. Just talk to people in English. Do your own writing in English. Do your own writing in Spanish. We're surrounded with applications and artificial intelligence and companies that want to figure out the best way to help us do what we never really figured out how to do. That's the hilarious thing. We never really figured out how to teach people to communicate effectively using their native language and then learn other languages so they could communicate and think critically in another language and have all these wonderful experiences in life. Go to a foreign country, like my nephew visited Germany and was able to speak to German people in German, and he's not even 21 yet, and it's amazing. Wow, that's so cool. He got to see things that I want to see, sometime in my lifetime. Learn German well enough to speak to people in German. Read, for Christmas, I got him a book in German. The original All Quiet on the Western Front, completely in German, so that he can use it to study German. That's awesome. My sister uses sign language. I wanted to interview her about that. Don't know if I'll get to do that, but that's so important to me, and I think that that's an important part of the website, the magazine, keeping up with that. That's one of the things we do there. That's one of the things Conscience and Nonsense LLC does. That's one of the things we do. And there's another tab on there besides just the services tab that outlines what we do and what we're all about. And it's just me, guys, for the time being, but we're going to grow. There's another tab, Ensalada Bilingue. And on this tab, I have comic strips, my own comic strips, Adventures Insane in Spanish. I've translated them, comic strips that I've done and drawn and written in English, translated them into Spanish so people can compare them with each other, use them as a learning tool. I'm going to be doing more of those, putting those up. That's going to be fun. That's awesome. That's a fun time doing those. I really enjoy it. And then also bilingual stories. I have a story called Carlos el Gato, about this cat who lives on a foreign planet and wants to join the military. Take a look at that. That's under the Ensalada Bilingue tab. Just the Spanish word for salad, ensalada. Looks like ensalada. And then the Spanish word for bilingual, bilingue. You'll know because it's got a U with an umlaut over it. And it's right there next to services, I believe. So lots going on. That's going on. That's rewarding. Even preparing to do that is rewarding, even when I'm not getting to do it. Good times, good times. Also, let's see, let's check what else did we want to talk about. Audacity made me, I had to do an update. By the way, free plug, no affiliate. I don't know how many people are plugging Audacity, but Audacity's awesome. I used it a long time ago, back in 2007, when I was working at a church doing their audio, and I couldn't get the hang of it then, but great program, great way to do audio. No affiliate, no affiliation. I'm not getting paid to say this. They did make me update, and because I haven't done one of these podcasts in a long time. But I closed all my notes, so take the journey with me as I figure out where I was. And let's see, where did we go? What was it? It was my daily planners. We complained so much about Groundhog Day. Happy Groundhog Day. Yeah, happy Groundhog Day. By the way, how did I let that get past me? So, the direction of the magazine. I don't want this to get lost in the shuffle. What's the direction of the magazine? What's the purpose of the magazine? Let me tell you something. I've been to various support group meetings, and the topic police always jump my stuff. Somebody will throw out a topic, and then everybody else will talk about whatever they want to talk about, whatever is on their mind, whatever they've got going on, just random stuff that doesn't have anything to do with anything. And then they get to me, and it's my turn to talk. As soon as I start talking, somebody says, "Stay on topic." Yeah, I think that's just bullying a lot of the time, and that I'm being picked on because there's this little sign, this little radar that I'm putting out that says, hey, I'm neurodivergent, treat me differently, I'm ADHD, I'm probably on the spectrum, I've never been diagnosed, I'm schizoaffective, I'm different, I'm mentally exceptional, treat me differently and behave like I'm really weird. So, where was I? I think I wandered off topic. No, the thing about it is, like, what's the topic of the magazine? You read these books on business, and, read these books on publishing, starting and running a successful newsletter or magazine. Where are you coming from with this magazine? What's it about? And people want to say, oh, my magazine's about anything and everything. Well, what Conscience and Nonsense magazine really is all about is, if you're like Oprah Winfrey or Rush Limbaugh, and I know these are random people, or Dr. Phil or Martha Stewart, or Paris Hilton, you've got this whole big universe of stuff that it's all about you, I've got my own magazine and my own podcast and my own TV show, and I'm making movies, stuff that dates back to Elvis Presley or the Beatles, or maybe even before that. I think that every person, especially in this day and age, I think that every person, even if we can't feel like a celebrity, because we've got tons of followers and fans, I feel like every person should have a safe, special space where they can look at something and say, this pertains to me, this resonates with me, this makes me feel understood, heard, and special. Pardon me. Now, I'm schizoaffective. I have a lot of friends who are autistic, ADHD. We're different. We're neurodivergent. We aren't like other people. We're different. And the main character in my comic strip, and his voice is, Steve, he's schizophrenic. And, he winds up in the psych ward sometimes. And he has to take medication, and people are concerned about him. Well, what's the space for a person like that? What's a magazine geared towards somebody like that? What's that magazine look like? Not a magazine like Psychology Today or Psychiatry Today, or not the talk trash about any publications. Those are perfectly good publications that are necessary and useful and good. That's fine. But I'm talking about, I'm schizophrenic, I'm on the spectrum, I'm neurodivergent. I don't want to sit around all of the time and read a magazine written by people with doctorates, medical doctors and psychiatrists, paid for by Big Pharma, all about this dry research about, I want to read magazines and watch videos that cater to people like me. People who understand what it's like to be different. That is a huge thing that's happened for the past 4 or 5 years on TikTok. There's a huge community on TikTok for people just like you, no matter who you are. So yeah, there you go. That's the purpose of the magazine. It's for the advocacy community. And, we're still working on the mission statement. It's entertainment and help for the advocacy community. Now, everything may not seem like it falls in line with that. Everything may not seem like, oh, well, this doesn't belong here. But, the comic strip hopefully Adventures Insane on there and other comics that I want to pay other creators when I get the chance for their work, include their work, articles in the wellness tab, opinion, the humor section. I want everything to dovetail so that people can feel like this is a safe space to go if you're a member of the advocacy community. And one of the most important things we've done so far in Conscience and Nonsense magazine, getting ready to wrap it up here in a minute, one of the most important things we've done so far is we interviewed a member of the community that lives with dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder. It was a 10-page interview. We didn't pull any punches. It's there on the homepage, on the front page. It's under interviews. It's the only interview for the time being. Want to do more interviews, want to do reviews, want to review a book by a psychologist I respect and admire a lot. Never want to lose that thread. Psychology from the perspective of the psychological patient, the mental patient. Therapy from the perspective of the person going to therapy. You know, and I have mixed opinions and feelings about global warming and global climate change, but yeah, global climate change from the perspective of the person trying to do something. My other sister is trying to reduce, reuse, recycle, and do something about pollution and plastic waste. That's something. I'm just sitting here doing this podcast realizing I should interview her if I get the opportunity. So advocacy and the advocacy community, but also, you know, not just from a serious perspective on the magazine, Conscience and Nonsense magazine. Lots more to talk about. Lots more to talk about today. Not going to get to it all, but I'm going to start back doing these once a week. I've seen that people are checking this out on YouTube. Don't have a Spotify yet. YouTube is currently the only place where you can get this podcast as of Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 2023. That ought to change. That should change. So yeah, gonna wrap it up. Gonna edit this down a little bit. And this is Nathan Hyatt, creator of Conscience and Nonsense, creator of Adventures Insane. Lots more to talk about in the next episode. Keep coming back, and we'll catch you on the flip side.